Hey folks, it's another day, another unboxing, and yes, I was at the event in New York City. I got my Pixel 4 XL. You should check out my unboxing and hands-on up here, but I did not get the Pixelbook Go. So again, thanks to the influencer team at Google for making that happen. This is the mid of the line Core i5. Let's get started. There is a box. It's very thin but very long. So here are the specs on one side, and here's the Google logo. There's a Google mention here and a side view of the product right here. So as you can see, it is quite the big box considering. I mean, it's not too bad. Here are my hands. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Look at that. That's exciting. So here's the computer. Here's the power adapter. That's pretty much standard layout for these kind of things. Let me take the computer out so we can have a look at it in a second. And then we'll also look at the charging brick and stuff. So as you notice, there's nothing under here. I actually had a quick look earlier, and you can't lift this up or anything, but there is some documentation here. That's about it in this, folks. So let's get started, it says. Open your Pixelbook Go to turn it on. Follow the on-screen prompts. So, you know, if you've never set up a Pixel, this is how you do it. Multiple languages here, of course. And we get some Pixelbook and Google stickers. Awesome. And of course, here's the warranty and safety regulation stuff. A USB Type-C to Type-C cable. You can see here it is Type-C on both ends, this one and this one. Looks like a pretty long cord. This is a 45 watt charger in here. And so, you know, it's a high current, high voltage cord, which is great. More and more laptops nowadays are charging at high speed charging over USB-C, not just PD, but PD high speed. This is one of them, so this is super exciting. And then we have the brick, and this is what the brick looks like. This is US prongs, they retract outward. I'm not going to take this out. Probably won't use it. I've got a million 65 watt and 45 watt PD USB-C bricks, so I really don't need this. But you know, this is not bad. It's a little bit on the big side, but not too bad, honestly. So that's it. Let's have a quick look at the computer then, shall we? Here it is. So you can see there's a little happy Google logo up here. Let's unwrap this, shall we? And as you can see underneath here, it is this interesting little ridged finish, right? That's one of the things we saw at the event in New York, is the ridged finish on here. So let's take this out. Oh, the sound of new electronics. You gotta love it. Here we are. Oh yeah. Nice. Ta-da! So we've got it's gonna turn on as soon as I open it. That's how Chromebooks usually start up. There's a little soft felt divider here. And there you go, folks. It says, welcome, and you can set it up. I'm not going to do this right now, but I wanted to show you the keyboard deck and the keys and all that layout in general. What's cool is, as you can see, there is stereo speakers, a very excellent keyboard deck. It has incredibly good feedback. Google's nailed the keyboards in a while. Just so you know where I'm coming from, I'm a Pixelbook user, so this is a Pixelbook Go, which is kind of like a budget Pixelbook. A lot of people are looking at this as a Chromebook saying, this is awfully expensive for a Chromebook. And it kind of is, but at the same time, this is not a Chromebook, it's a Pixelbook. It's the high-end line of Chromebooks that are made by Google. So you're getting a genuine, you know, Pixelbook from Google at a much lower price point than the big expensive Pixelbook that I've been using for a while. So what's exciting here about this keyboard is that it just feels really great, and it's not too noisy, but it's just hard to describe. You have to use it. Same with the trackpad. They have these massive glass trackpads. They feel as smooth as silk. They're just like, you know, Apple's trackpads, which I think are the best in the world. And Google just seems to nail that every time. So that's basically the keyboard deck and the keyboard and trackpad. And the display, as you see, is a 16:9 aspect ratio, which is not my favorite. And that's one of my issues with this. Other Pixel devices, the original Pixel Chromebook and the Pixelbook, had 3:2 aspect ratio, which is taller, gives you more to see on the screen. I like that a lot better. So, keep that in mind. That's a small thing, small detail, but you obviously have a web camera up here and some microphones. And also, this looks pretty bright right now, but the display is a little dim in direct sunlight, and I know this from being in New York and trying it out at the event. So that's it. Like, basically, you're getting that great keyboard and trackpad experience from Google, but you might not be getting the best display with this device. I mean, 1080p is the base display. That's not too high res either. The Pixelbook, the bigger, more expensive one, has a Retina type display, whereas this is, you can get 4K display on this, but it's really expensive. So again, at that point, I'd rather buy a Pixelbook and have a 2-in-1 and have just, an overall more fancy device. Now, this looks and feels like plastic, but here's the thing. This is magnesium that's been painted. And so this is a little interesting too, is because I wonder how durable it's going to be. Is it going to be like the ThinkPads with that soft touch black finish where it doesn't wear out over time? Or because it's painted over metal, magnesium metal, will it wear out over time? That's really the big question. But you get the little Google logo, and on the bottom, as I showed before, it's got this super interesting material. And the cool thing about this is that it gives you a little more surface area, and it's raised from the base, so it cools the laptop better, and you can feel that it's nice and cold to the touch right now because it is magnesium that's been painted. Some screws in there as well. The hinge is basically your standard hinge design you see on a lot of things like MacBooks, etc. It's pretty thin, as you can see. There is a USB Type-C charge and data port here on the left with a headphone jack. So I've gone back to having a headphone jack after taking it out on the Slate last year. And then there is another USB Type-C that's also for charging our data on the other side. You can choose which side you want to plug in to charge. Very, very helpful. And that's pretty much it for this Pixelbook Go. So I'm super stoked. I've been a long time Pixel fan, as you know, from the phones, but also from the Pixel Chromebook in the early days, and a long-time Chromebook user since day one, since the CR48. So I'm super excited that this is finally another, not a weird Slate 2-in-1 thing, but like a real solid laptop from Google. And, you're going to say the Pixelbook, the original, was a 2-in-1. It could turn into a tablet, but I never use it like that. It's really at the core a laptop that happens to be able to be a tablet as well. One thing I do want to mention before I leave real quickly, before we finish here, is that this display is a touch screen. So it does actually respond to touch. I just want to show you that real quick. You see? And do let's go here, and it actually works. So yeah, let's be real here. Even though it's not a 2-in-1, it does have a touchscreen. So that's it, folks. This is the Pixelbook Go. I want to thank again the people at Google, the influencer team, for sending me this. And stay tuned for more content about this, more of my thoughts about this on the podcast. So remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, tell your friends. Please interact with me in the comments. Click the little notification bell below. And remember that I will be discussing this on the podcast at mobiletechpodcast.com. We're also on Google, Apple, Pocket Cast, Overcast, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, everywhere. So subscribe to the podcast as well. All right, folks, stay tuned for more videos soon. And until then, cheers, everybody.